How's it everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And it's been about 3 weeks now since we did Drift Antics. Unfortunately we only lasted a couple of laps due to a clutch failure. We pulled the gearbox and everything out and inspected it on the day and just made the call. Reason being was the clutch that was in it was only 2 track days old. Well, that was its second track day, and it was actually our spare clutch also. The one before that had a bit of a workout, and only reason why it looks like that was we snapped a couple of straps, cooked the pressure plate, and you can see it's not sitting center now. It's like snapped these 2 straps and gone to one side. Yeah, there's still meat on the disc and everything, but we lost clutch, so out that one came. We had another one on order, well, that we already had, that we ordered a while ago, sitting there, and that's it there. 2 track days old, and she stopped working. I've just been using the same clutch setup as the last previous owners that had it were running in it, which was just a 6-puck MP autos. They've did well, but we are starting to push a little bit more out of the car now. I think it's just time that it needed an upgrade, I suppose, so we'll be looking into that. Well, there you have that. Obviously the flywheel was machined upon the new installment, but we'll have a look and see what's happened. So there you have it. Fuck me. 2 track days old, and as you can see, I don't know what's caused that, but that one there has completely let go. I don't know if it's mechanical or like driver error or workmanship fault, but I expected a brand new clutch, 2 track days old, you know, that was supplied by spec, by horsepower and torque, and was meant to be more than enough, and fucking hell. But we've got another one on the way anyway. We've decided just to go away from the setup we've been running, only because it's 3rd time bad luck, so might as well switch it up and try something new, I think. We thought about going twin plate, but then speaking to a few people, you know, at the track on the day, they reckon it's easier to replace the clutch than a gearbox, so we might just stay single plate for now. Just get something a little bit more aggressive, more clamping pressure, and see how that goes, just to get us through the rest of the year. And I think it's better than fucking smashing a gearbox at this stage, the way things are going. Pretty disappointed for 2 track days anyway. But oh well, it's all part of it. Things never last forever in these things, so it's all part of the game. It was a bit of a bummer though, because it was probably the best the car's ever felt since we've had it. We have been doing little minor upgrades here and there, mainly the things that have been giving us issues. We've been just trying to eliminate them all. One of them being was water pump. Well, assuming water pump having cavitation issues. Decided to delete that to minimize that from what it could be. We went to electric water pump just down the bottom there, and by far I can say one of the best things I've ever done. It's just way more accurate and just more efficient in cooling. Other than that, the other thing we were having was we actually broke a harmonic balancer, one of the standard ones. and well, we actually broke two of them, and they were causing the wobble and shit and throwing belts off. Yeah, we actually lost power steering at Winterbash. Yeah, right on the S-bend there. Lost power steering. Now that they put fucking tyres everywhere, we had nowhere to go, and we fucking hungied a few tyres. But that was right at the end of the day, so I was happy. The car performed pretty well. We did have a bit of an issue that I could pick up was drifting around the hairpin to the left. The car felt unsettled. I sort of had to come off power. I couldn't really stay on power, otherwise it wanted to loop. On the wheel alignment machine, we had found that the left-hand caster had wound it forward almost 1 degree. We squared everything back up, did 2 laps on the new track layout on track 3 at Drift Antics, and it was the first time I've driven that track also, but the car felt like it was on. I wasn't sort of trying to drive the car. I was more or less focusing on where I was going, and it's probably the first time I've ever felt like that in the seat. So I'm guessing like the new power steering upgrade, like we've gone to an electric setup, and we've deleted all belts. All we're running now is just the alternator, and yeah, we're just gone to an ATI dampener, and yeah, it's probably the best the car's ever felt. We were running like 7.5 degrees caster up front. The car just felt too notchy on lock, like it was binding. You couldn't really steer it, you had to drive it by pedal, and you couldn't really alter the steering wheel because it was just heavy. Went down in tyre size on the front because we were running 10s on the front, and I went down to 9.5s, and also changed from a semi-slick tyre just to a street tyre just to see how it would feel. And then plus we also did the power steering upgrade also, which between those combination of things and moving the caster back to 6.5 degrees, you have to steer it a little bit more, but the car just felt way better. Like you can actually put the car where you want it. No, you can steer it where you want it to go, where before you sort of just had to throw it in and then steer it by throttle, where now you can actually, you know, stay on the gas a lot longer now and use the full motion of lock, I suppose. We have been playing with the back too, the back suspension setup, and we have done like a full soft setup to like hard. We found on soft it was pretty grippy, and sort of made the car felt like it had no horsepower after. And we were driving it pretty hard, and we got the car drivable about lunchtime after going to a softer setup. But you had to be fully committed on your lines you picked. It's a little bit hard on the gear, and I think that's how we first broke this clutch. What I'm guessing was, yeah, we broke it on that day, or like must have been on the verge of breaking. We actually did a bit of a test back home and then had a clutch failure like within the first 3 minutes testing it before we actually went away with Drift Antics on the new track layout. It was one of them anyway, and then we used our spare, which is in it now. It's done 2 track days and it's failed again, and it's showing the same symptoms as well, not showing, I'd say feeling the same symptoms, exactly the same what's happened to that. Other than that, was pretty happy with the car. I don't really want to pull it off track, and there's a lot of things that we were looking at doing, like another turbo, like a proper turbo setup, and then like a forged bottom end. We have dismantled our spare 30 block over there, and we were meant to do a bottom end build and whatnot and go hectic this and hectic that, but I sort of made a commitment to myself to do 1 year of driving, like as much seat time as possible before pulling the car off the track, because I haven't done really much track days, to be honest. I've only just been getting back in the seat after 8 years, and it's yeah, I just promised myself to get in a car that was ready to go, sort of a thing, and get as much seat time and driving time under my belt as possible. So we're already like halfway through the year now, and we've attended every Drift Antics event they've had since last year, about August. We're getting there, I suppose. We're sort of making the car to suit the driver, which is myself, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, just make it hang in till Christmas, and then Christmas we'll start pulling it apart, because stuff that we're gonna do was remount radiator, which we've already got sitting there. Unfortunately, we did smash the back window by accident while working in here, and we started prepping it, getting it ready for the remount. But yeah, just shit everywhere. But that's one of the things that we want to do. We want to actually also cut the tunnel in the firewall to make it easier for gearbox changes, because fuck, it's a mission getting to the top bolts with the 30. Yeah, these fucking things are just not much room, where they sit. So what we want to do, make the car easier to work on, I suppose, for like, you know, when you're at the track, you don't have every tool or fucking hoist or anything like that, so sort of lose that luxury at the track. Got to have a good team behind you, and it's lucky enough that my family and stuff, like my old man, he's been with me day one since I went back to the track. My very first track day, he's just fucking, he's the only one that's made it to every event. And you know, I talk with this lingo, we need to do this, we need to do that, and he knows nothing about these things, and he just thinks I'm like cuckoo, or I just need to drive better, I suppose. But now that we've made changes, and like he's learning about the process as I'm learning as well, he respects from where we started to where we are now, because he dramatically sees the progress where I sort of don't. I'm just always in the fast lane, and just want to just get to the top like we all the big dogs are one day. But just me and my son that works on this thing to keep it going. We're the only two that sort of work on the car, really. The old man comes around when he's not busy, but he's forever working, and does quite big hours. And same with myself, Monday to Friday I'm never home. I'm only home in the weekends, so it gets a little bit hectic. But I think the hard work and putting the time and effort into it, and just the people that have invested in us too, that it becomes one of those things where you're carrying people's faith that they have in you, so you got to prove back to them, I suppose. Now it's like, it's good, because now I can start to see the progress from coming out from where we first started, which is pretty good. But yeah, other than that, enough of me raving on. Better stop talking shit, I suppose, and fucking start lifting some tools and doing something. Otherwise, it'll be sitting here like it always is, doing nothing.